Viva, and do you remember at what point you decided, you know what, I will try consulting?
Honestly, I consulting wasn't on my original path. I think if you are any sort of normal kid coming through high school or college, there are many professions that come up before you would even think about management consulting. But in graduate school, I had a number of students who were ahead of me in graduate school that joined McKinsey and Company and just gave tremendous feedback on how much they were learning and how much they were enjoying their work. And because I respected these former students so much, now graduates, it made me really reconsider my paths in life and my professional career and really think about management consultant as a possibility.
And when you entered consulting, what was it like, that path to partnership?
Well, the path to McKinsey and the path to partnership was certainly not a straightforward one at the time. I was in the first class that McKinsey hired with non-MBAs. So these are professional degrees that were in other fields, but not in the business arena. So first of all, my fellow associates and I that came into the New York office at the time had to do a special training program for an entire month, which McKinsey ended up calling the mini MBA. This was a tremendous, tremendous bridge from my own field into business and got me prepared on that. I cannot say that there were a lot of women at the time. And so I very much enjoyed having the one or two role models over the years that I did have that were juggling responsibilities at work and family and other things, other fellow women. I was the first female and non-MBA and youngest partner in the Chicago office. So that was certainly an interesting experience walking into my first partnership meeting. The way I like to describe it is it's the opposite of going to the theater. When you go to the theater and there's a break in the theater production, there is a really long line at the women's bathroom. When you walk into a McKinsey partner meeting this many years ago, there was no line for the women's bathroom. So, but over time, there were many women who came up behind me and were able to become really successful in the firm, so much so that over time, you did have to wait in the bathroom during the partners' meetings breaks. So hopefully that sort of describes the early days.
It does. Thank you so much. And could you take us a little bit through different levels and your experience at each level and kind of key things that make you successful at a particular level?
So the first lesson, I think folks should learn as they're coming into management consulting is that you only get one shot to make a good first impression. The way the firm evaluates associates and engagement managers and associate principals and principals is really on a set of intrinsics and performance. And you want to massively over-deliver at the beginning so that your reputation is one of really strong intrinsics. Over time, all of us inevitably stumble. But at that point, what you want to do is have a very good reputation so that the stumble is just something that happens and you recover from that, as opposed to any sort of perception or reputation that you may be lacking in some of the important aspects of McKinsey performance, whether it be on problem solving or teamwork or leadership or empathy or any of these dimensions. So honestly, your first 6 months, your first 9 months, I don't really care. Like you don't do anything else. You just massively over deliver so that everyone knows that you are the safest pair of hands, that the partners can go home on the weekend, that you're going to get the work done really well, that you're going to bring up issues early and often to problem solve them together. And you're going to provide exceptional service to the client. That would be sort of my advice as you think about a career within McKinsey & Company.
I 100% agree with you. That was always my approach. And it just came naturally as well. And I would feel like I'm not an owner of the company, but I feel like I'm responsible, I'm accountable, I have to get it done, whatever it takes. And I will not sleep nights, weekends. I will not sleep a few days in a row if I have to. Whatever it takes, you do the work as best as you possibly can.
I'm in 100% agreement. And I think that's what makes the places like McKinsey & Company very special, is that such a disproportionate amount of all of the folks that work at the firm really take that at heart, that clients' interests really come first, and you have to look after them first and foremost.
Do you remember a moment when you got promoted to partner? What was it like?
You know, there are many emotions that are coming through my mind at the present time. The way the firm works is that you have partners from other offices evaluate partner candidates for election. And I still remember the director out of the Canadian practice out of Toronto, that was the person who was evaluating me. And this may not be standard practice, but at the end of all of his evaluations and at the end of all of the internal partner meetings at the firm, he gave me a call and he gave me the really good news. But then he also flew down to Chicago just to spend an evening with me. He wanted to get to know me personally rather than what everyone else was saying and, you know, from what I was on paper. And he personally wanted to give me advice on what I could do better. He clearly was investing in me as a business professional, and he was clearly investing in me as an individual. And to this day, I am still completely loyal to him. We exchange Christmas greetings every year. This has now been decades later. I think this is what it takes to really run a professional services firm well. There's all the things that are expected, and then there are the things that people do that go above and beyond that just make you even more motivated and even more loyal and even more excited about the opportunities that you have. That's my recollection.